Fate Apocrypha is a pretty controversial part of the Fate universe. A lot of people are divided on the light novel series, and the anime adaptation has glaring issues, such as cutting out important parts of Apocrypha's story, and just doing a horrible job of adapting certain aspects of the Fate universe. That being said, there are good characters, and good character designs, including a whopping 14 servants. Apocrypha's narrative is that of a battle between two factions, the Red Faction and the Black Faction. And each of these factions summon 7 servants from each class in order to fight this new Holy Grail war. The way this episode is going to work is that we are going to go over the Red Faction first and the Black Faction last. As for the characters that technically aren't aligned with any faction, I grouped them with who they tend to be most associated. Before we begin, I should say that everything we say in this video is purely our own opinion, as art allows for multiple perspectives. Also, we are going to be spoiling everything about Apocrypha, so view this video on your own discretion. Now for those who are still here, let's start episode 6. Alright, let's take a look at our first design. Actually, before we do that, do you know that Fate Apocrypha is a cancelled online game?
Yep, it was going to be.
Yeah, and much like Fate Grand Order, the mobile game, they got a bunch of different artists to design all these characters. But then when it was cancelled, most of them were brought back for the Fate Apocrypha novels that would be written by, the novel that would be written by Yuichiro Higashide.
Okay.
Although, unlike Mordred is a bit unique though, because Mordred was flat out designed by Kinoko Nasu, drawn by
Takeuchi.
Yeah.
Of course.
But that was for an art book, and then later the official artist for Fate Apocrypha, who would do all like the who would like just be the guy who drew all the characters for like the official art for the novel. That guy's name is Ototsugu Konoe. This is his drawing.
Okay.
And Takeuchi's art has like, the major difference is that these horns right here, they're facing down. And she looks more like a minotaur.
Okay, and Takeuchi's art?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, let's talk about Mordred.
Alright.
This design I really like how it just looks like, just with the height being the same as like King Arthur, like it's just an antagonist to King Arthur. Like the armor's more rigid, and her gloves have that kind of thing that Saber Alter's gloves had, where they have like
they got
spikes.
The spikes. There's like the horns on the helmet.
Yeah.
Looks a lot more intimidating.
Oh yeah, and like she just looks like it's far from evil, I think, but it's very antagonistic. Another thing I really like, and this is something that gets mentioned whenever you look up stuff about this character design, is that the mask and armor completely hide her gender.
Yeah, because Mordred in Arthurian mythology is the son of King Arthur, conceived via Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah, you want to talk
Arthur's
about
sister.
Yeah.
Now, if you've seen Fate Stay Night, you know that King Arthur in this version is a woman.
Yeah, and thus... So is it the official thing is that she's just a homunculus, or did King Arthur impregnate herself due to Merlin?
Okay, so here's what happened. Merlin gave Saber those parts to help pass off the whole, like, pretending to be a guy thing.
Okay.
And then Morgan Le Fay got a hold of some of that, and it's all like...
Got a hold of some of that, huh?
Somehow.
Yeah.
We have no idea how. But then she made a homunculus clone of Arthur, and that became Mordred.
Yeah, another thing I like about this design is just, the color red. Like, first of all, the way it's put on her armor, it's just, it's interesting to look at the use of red, because red is not actually used a lot in this character design.
Yeah,
it's mostly just, steel armor.
Yeah, it's more like a highlight color.
Yeah. Also, like... You have this part where it's almost like King Arthur's, like, dress, but not really, like, because she has both the leggings and the side guards, or whatever you can call them.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's, something that's, kind of interesting is that her head is like a fucking robot head, and thus when it comes down, it does this, like, mechanical sequence of it kind of being taken apart.
Yeah.
And then the horns end up at her sides here, which is really cool.
Yeah, just like Iron Man suits itself to like split apart and combine with the armor.
Yeah. Also, back to the red for a bit. You know, King Arthur is blue, Mordred's red. Also, she is the saber of red, and you know, you can just tell that by looking at her and stuff. I gotta say, compared to Excalibur, like, I like her sword, but it's not as interesting as that.
It's not as fancy because it doesn't have the gold and everything.
I don't think, like, I'm assuming that, like, because whenever we learn about, like, servants in King Arthur's Round Table, they always have weapons and armor that are, like, special.
Yes.
All we know this weapon is as, like her noble phantasm is, like, this is the sword that killed my father. And that's kind of all we know about it. Although that's just us.
If I remember correctly, I think Mordred stole it from, like, Arthur's, like, armory.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. I really like her face. I like, or just her head in general. Because, like, you know, you got King Arthur's hair, and she's all, like, you know, she has it all fancy, and, like, a fancy kind of bun ponytail type thing.
Yeah, but Mordred has more, like,
Like, Mordred just fucking woke up, and then just put her hair together because she doesn't want it to get in her face, and that's her hairstyle.
Yeah.
There's nothing fancy about it.
Like, if you put them side by side with just the faces, you could instantly tell one is Arthur, one is Mordred.
Yeah, and just one's more like she definitely gives off, like, just with her armor and her face, she definitely gives off the kind of tomboyish feel that her character is.
Yeah.
And she's all like, I'll kill you if you think I'm a woman. Also, just for all the characters designs, I got the A1 Pictures stuff, just in case you want to see, like, different angles and how it looks in the anime. Because, like, so pretty much, like, the art here is going to be done by mainly both Ototsuki Konoe and the animators at A1 Pictures.
Alright.
For this video, yeah. But anyway, this design is pretty cool. You want to take a look at our next one?
Sure.
Okay, so,
Yes.
one thing I forgot to mention, at some point it was considered that Mordred would be an androgynous trap character, much like another character in Fate Apocrypha.
Oh, really?
And that decision was, people backed down on that decision just because it would be weird if there was two of those characters in one story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, yeah.
I mean,
Also, I have in my notes, I forgot the exact contest, but I just have in my notes here that Takeuchi likes her.
of course.
Yeah.
Takeuchi likes all the saber faces.
He loves all the saber faces here. But yeah, anyway, let's take a look at our next design.
Okay.
Okay, so the main thing I want to talk about is the design on our right here. That's her casual gear. Whenever she's not in armor, she's usually seen in that. But let's just briefly talk about how weird the unarmored version of Mordred is.
It has high heels.
Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't notice that. Oh. Like,
man.
I don't... Like, I wondered, like, why is this even... Like, I feel like it's just for fan service, and, like, you know, it still has the stuff where it's, like, it's red, and, you know, her face is the same, of course, and all that, but, like, it's such, like, a weird kind of fan service-y outfit.
Yeah, I thought it was just made up for Grand Order till I saw Apocrypha.
Yeah, and, like... But, yeah, it's just, like, this design is just weird, and I am not really too fond of it. It just doesn't really, I guess, make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, I guess one thing I could say is that these sleeves look like the sleeves that her armor is covering, and that's consistent and kind of interesting, but other than that, not really anything else.
Yeah, that's just about it.
So anyway, let's talk about the, Alright, so Saber's master is, I guess, really poor at the time of Apocrypha, so this is all she gets for casual clothes. She gets a frickin' tube top and shorts, and, I thought it was important.
No, she gets a jacket too.
Yeah, she gets a cool red jacket, which I actually like. Like, I feel like this art doesn't really do her casual design justice, because most of the time she's wearing the jacket.
Yeah.
And she's, like, hopping around, and the jacket's reacting to the forces around her. And, so I do, one thing I do like about this design is that, like, I just like the jacket, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I think it kind of does, like, convey the fact that she's very uncaring of things.
Yeah.
Like, because Saber, like, she wears her outfit to, like, so that she can fit in with the rest of Shiro's family and friends, but Mordred just doesn't care. She She has the minimal requirements and then a cool jacket, which is a cool kind of masculine looking jacket.
She complains more about the fact that they're hiding out in a cemetery.
Yeah. And also another thing I read, like, servants aren't affected by temperatures, therefore, in the middle of fucking Romania, you know, she's fine. I don't know if Romania has any cold temperatures or whatever, but yeah, that's a thing. And that justifies this design.
Sure.
But
sure, just tell yourself that.
I do think it's really cool, though. I do think it does, like, convey a part of her. Like, it definitely you know, you got the difference between her and Arthur again. And I really do like the red jacket. It really does, it does a lot for the design. It makes up for, like...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Actually, like, yeah, what are your overall thoughts on this design? Do you think it could be less fan servicey? Do you think another design could portray the same aspects of her character without...
Kinda, like, at this point in the Fate franchise, we're getting to more fan servicey designs, as we'll see.
Yeah. But, okay, then I think I've said that all needs to be said. And have you?
Yeah.
So, I read a thing on the wiki that described the feeling that other characters get when they see this design. Not necessarily other characters, but, like, regular people in the story.
Alright.
And apparently it's enough to get, like, a police officer in Romania will just look at him, and then be all like, I need to search you. You just look like the most, you just look like the epitome of trouble.
Which is bad, because he has, like, heart grenades and shotgun fingers.
Oh god, I hope the police don't find my collection of organs I use for combat. So anyway, this is Kairi
Shishigo.
Yes, it says Shishigo, but in the English dub they always say Shishigo, and I wonder if that's just because they just hated saying Sisigo. But anyway, yeah, this guy is the master of Saber in the war, and one of the few master designs we'll be looking at today due to the
large cast.
Yeah, due to the large cast, yeah. That's about right. So he is a bounty hunter, and you can probably be all like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
There's also some, like, details, like there's a big scar on his face. Oh, okay, it's not really portrayed here. It's better portrayed. Yeah, there we go, right here. He has a giant scar on his face from something I forgot, but yeah, he's just like, his design is just so, like, it's so threatening and badass, you know?
Yeah, like, he looks like a kind of biker kind of person.
Yeah. I mean, definitely with the fucking shotgun, like, most definitely. Can I tell their fingers from here? No, not really. They look like just regular shotgun shells.
He's got some of in his hand.
Yeah. I guess maybe the implication is that before the anime happened, he just stuffed the fingers in shotgun shells themselves?
Most likely.
But yeah, this guy looks like a cool, badass bounty hunter. He's a rogue, he don't listen to no one.
He wears sunglasses indoors.
Yeah. He never takes them off. I can't remember a single instance in which we see his bare eyelids. And, yeah, that's pretty cool. When I was getting the PNG for this design, I came across... Apparently there was, like, a big objective to make him look, you know, threatening and, like, intimidating. And, I saw, like, a bunch of sketches where it's just this base design, but with a bunch of different, like, roguish hairstyles, like, just short, spiky hair, and, like, just slightly longer but still raggedy hair and stuff like that. Like, a lot of it was just, like, different hairstyles. Which one is the most, fucking intimidating?
I think that one works the best. It's like,
yeah.
It just fits that design so much.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like long hair is kind of associated with wisdom as well, and, like, Kairi is, like, I think a 30 by the time the series begins. And he's a pretty experienced Magus, one of the most experienced Magus characters we see in the Type Moon universe. But yeah, this design is pretty cool. It's interesting to look at, and it portrays this character pretty well. Alright, this is Lancer of Red, also true name Karna.
Karna is one of the main characters in the Mahabharata, an Indian book from, like, way back, like BC.
Yeah, it's an Indian epic. So right away, like, you can, like, just the way the red and the gold here, it just screams like an Indian character design. like right away.
I guess.
Like back in the God Eater video, there was like a monster who just had like this color scheme as well, and then you look it up and yeah, he's based off. It's an Indian deity. But yeah, back to Karna. So an aspect of Karna is that his armor is fused to his body, which is characterized by like this area over here, where like you see his clothes kind of like
just melding into like the skin. Kinda.
Yeah. So Karna is like is a demigod who's like the son of the sun god, and something I think that I really like about his design that portrays that is just the jewel in the center.
Oh yeah.
It kind of gives them just this kind of like both with the colors and just the jewel in the center kind of give them this like lustrous kind of look.
Yeah, it looks like a sun with like the stone in the middle and the little gold parts coming off.
Yeah.
Even the shoulder pads kind of.
Oh yeah, like there's just the whole motif of just like the spikes coming out of the sun seem to be like a very consistent thing, like right here and his arms and legs. And like I really love how just his just how much his paleness and his white hair just stand out from the rest of his armor and makes it just look really interesting.
Yeah, like his skin and hair are like the same color of white, contrasted with like the red crimson of his cape, I believe.
It is supposed to be a cape.
Okay.
It's a very weird and complex cape that the guy who put him in extra really hates. Because he couldn't render that in 3D.
Is that why they had to change his design?
That's why they had to change his design, is because like they wanted like the objective with the change was all like, okay, we need a cape to give off the same feel that this cape does, but we have to be able to like actually put it in the game. And then thus the design is like it's changed design. Another thing about this is what the first design that was part of the online project, the Fate Apocrypha online project.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and this design was done by Kanoko Nasu, while the artist was a guy named who goes by the name Paco. And I don't know anything else that Paco has worked on because I go to his Wikipedia page and it's all in Japanese. I guess he's pretty obscure, at least in the West.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, I guess let's take a look at this for a bit since I have it here.
Yeah, interesting thing to note is like that one earring he has, like the wheel.
Oh, this thing right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of like Indian character designs seem to always have like I guess Indian character designs based off like, you know, like Indian epics such as the Mahabharata. I have to look at a sheet of paper to pronounce that. But yeah, like a lot of kind of I guess deific Indian designs have like, you know, gold jewelry and stuff.
Yeah.
Which and you know, it looks pretty nice on him.
Yeah, like even with the choker he has like the sun like spikes coming off with more of those arrows pointing out.
Yeah. Karna is always described in legends as a handsome young man, and thus, you know, he gets the he gets the sharp eyes, and he has like the flowing hair, and like, oh, he's a handsome Bishonen dude for girls.
Yeah, he is a very pretty man.
Yep. And like I really excuse me. I really like this design a lot. It's definitely like the first time I looked at this design, I thought like, okay, this is the design that's made ridiculous in order to justify like it's a very anime-like design, I thought.
Yeah.
But like everything is but the design itself is just so cool and so consistent with his legend that I kind of like I really grew to like this design, you know?
Yeah, I was just looking at like this thing on the internet. It's just like Karna is like stronger than like some of the gods in Mahabharata.
Like he's the strongest. He's so strong, Brett. He's the strongest ever. So since I got a PNG of it, let's briefly take a look at his weapon, which is probably has the most unique design of all the weapons and noble phantasms in Fate Apocrypha.
Yeah, like,
I feel like, or what were you looking at?
Okay, so this is not actually his weapon. It's actually one of the spears of Indra.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say the eye right here doesn't really give off the same feeling. Like, is kind of inconsistent with the whole sun motif that his design has. So yeah, it definitely makes sense that someone else's.
Yeah, Indra is like the god of thunder. And it allows him to kill beings with divinity very easily.
Yeah. So something I like about the sword itself is that right here it just kind of looks like a weird looking weapon, but like as soon as it gets set on fire when he's about to activate his Noble Phantasm, that's when I think the design shines. Like it just looks really good when it's like set on fire. Yeah, I can't do that. Never mind.
You can't do it justice, so don't try.
I can do it. Okay. Let me, There we go. Well, anyway, this design's really cool. Want to look at our next one?
Sure.
Alright. Alright, so this is Archer of Red, known as also Adelante from Greek mythology. And she is designed as a generic cutesy cat girl.
Now
which is what I thought.
Now there is actually a reason.
I just learned this today. But do you want to say it?
Yeah, so
All right.
Adelante in Greek mythology was this female huntress raised by the goddess Artemis. And she had a contest where people would race her in a foot race. And if they won, they could marry her. But if they lost, she kills them.
Yeah.
But then this one guy's all like, okay, and throws some golden apples in her path, and she's like, oh, I want that, it's pretty, and stops to pick him up, and loses.
Okay, yeah.
And they eventually fell in love, and they had so much love for each other, they had sex in Zeus's temple.
Oh, really? I read it was Sybil's temple.
Oh, well, one of them.
Yeah, one of them.
And
well, anyway, don't have sex in temples, but yeah.
Because then you get turned into a lion.
Yeah, so it's almost like they yanked her, like just the way her like green hair becomes the yellow hair. It's almost like Alaya. You know that? You know
Lioness?
No, you know what Alaya is in the Fate universe?
No.
It's the thing that turns people into servants. It's that light that goes, "Hey, do you want to fucking be a servant?"
Oh, that?
Yeah. So Alaya just came to her in the middle of becoming a lion. And is all like, "Yo, you want to become a servant? You got 5 seconds before you become a lion." And she's all like, yeah, anything out of this. I'll do anything to get out of this fucking situation. And thus the transformation makes her into like a Neko anime character.
A cute cat girl.
Yeah. Well, if anything, I'm glad that there actually is a reason for it, because I remember just not being able to find that, like, there's no, like, there's none of those, like, old paintings with her with the cat ears and the tail. And I was wondering why that was.
There probably were some in full lion mode. We just didn't know it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's actually, so yeah, the cat ears and tail start off as like it's a cute girl design, and then actually has meaning to it. And that makes me like accepting of this.
Now the outfit, on the other hand, is a little weird for like a Greek mythology character.
Yeah, I guess she's supposed to look childish in a way, because like just the way like the shoulders are and stuff like that. Like she's a pretty adult character, and if you ever hear her character talk, that definitely sells that. But I feel like since she's a protector of the children, she has to kind of look like them.
Okay, I guess.
I'm just trying to interpret what I'm seeing. I also read somewhere that apparently this is supposed to kind of represent the golden apple part of her myth, but I'm not entirely sure I believe that.
I don't see an apple in there.
But it is gold. Hey.
So's her hair.
Well, yeah. So this hair becoming the gold hair is pretty looks pretty good on this art, right?
Yeah.
And then I was reminded of something about the limitation of animation budgets when I got the A1 Pictures art and they just cut it off rather than have it like transition. And like the worst part is when it like gets to that part, you can just see the line that was drawn.
Yeah.
You can just see someone on their like computer program drawing a line here and then selecting fill all this color, and then yeah.
Unfortunately, it's hard for animation to get like that kind of transition well.
Yeah. Man, I feel like I was really spoiled by Adelante's design earlier, because I first saw her design in Fate Grand Order, where it's like super like pristine.
And then we go to this.
And then we go to this, and because you have to animate it, a lot of that pristineness is kind of lost. And, by the way, what are your overall thoughts on this design, Brett?
If it didn't have, like, the short skirt and the long leggings, like, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, it has a consistent color scheme of, like, aqua green, and then, like, the gold yellow hair going to white.
Yeah. So when I looked up paintings of her just to find out if she wore this outfit, like, most of it was just, like, robes, like, Greek stuff and like...
Yeah.
And her boobs flopping about, because a lot of paintings in Greek mythology, just people don't care about clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she had that kind of outfit in the flashback.
Oh, yeah, with the cameo from Medea Lily. Like, but yeah, I guess another thing, other than the whole, like, what her hair, like, what her hair says about her legend, like, I like that it's, like, because she's a forest hunter, right? So she's not gonna, like, really style her hair. Her hair is pretty unkempt, and it's not really smooth and flowing compared to, like, other, like, I guess, lady designs in anime.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's hard, like the design, I guess, itself, like, looks good, but it's kind of, like, hard to tell what it's exactly supposed to portray.
Yeah, it's questionable until you know about Adelante's myth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, just the outfit itself, not the cat ears and the tail.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's take a look at our next design.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. Okay, so Adelante's design is fine until we get to this part of the story.
So it's kind of hard to tell, but that's a giant boar head on her shoulder.
Yeah, like, I couldn't find, or do I have an A1? Or no, I don't have an A1 pictures of this. Yeah, these are the drawings I found. These are the official drawings I found for this design. So Adelante in her myth killed a boar, and then took the boar pelt, I guess. And I guess that allows her to become a berserker if she shoves it into her heart, and it gives her this, like... Okay, here's the thing that upsets me most about this design. Like, it kind of follows the whole, like, she's a person of the wild thing pretty accurately, but it's like, here's this moment where this character is kind of mentally losing her fucking mind, and then that progression is represented by this, like, sexy barbarian woman outfit. And that's just, like, that's just super tonally dissonant.
I'm just now noticing that her feet are hooves, like a boar's.
Oh, really? That's actually... See, that's cool. But I didn't notice that because I was too focused on how fucking fanservice-y it was.
Yeah, I do like the white hair with, like, some purple in the front.
Yeah. Here, let me... Oh, I just realized, I wonder if I could see this better if I just... Yeah, there we go. That's easier to see. Okay. Probably should have done that from before, but yeah, there's like a... did you just say that you liked her arm?
No, her hair. Like, the little bit of purple in front and then the white going in the back. Kind of consistent with how it was previously.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I do like the idea that her arm is a boar. Now.
Well, just the shoulder.
Yeah, just the shoulder part. Like, is this her arm right here?
Yeah, you kind of get a better look at it from the back.
Yeah. I don't want to zoom in on that, though. But yeah, the arm here and not any other part. Let's look at that. Yeah. So, like, this design has some cool stuff, but it's just ruined by just this part, you know?
Yeah. It's really hard to take seriously when that's the design.
Yeah, and, like, again, it's like an important moment for this character that's just ruined by it. That's just ruined by its design, by her design. Okay, one more thing to mention because I keep forgetting. Her design before the Noble Phantasm was also a part of the Fate Apocrypha online game, and her designer was a guy named Miyugaya Jinroku, and the artist is Genji Asai. Coming off the high from that terrible design, let's look at, like, the coolest fucking character in the entirety of Fate Apocrypha.
Oh man, so this is Caster of Red, otherwise known as William Shakespeare.
Yep.
Oh man, Shakespeare's the best.
He's really cool. And I like how his design, like, he just looks like a guy from medieval times, dressed casual, like, he kind of looks fashionable, you know?
Yes.
Like, he's not dressed up in peasant clothing because he's famous, and I guess...
He's probably going to one of his plays.
Yeah, and, like, just look at this guy. This guy's a fucking playwright. I mean, he has the book here, he has the, like, he's pointing, like, at his actors, like, I want you to do this thing.
He even has, like, a pen on his, like, chest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that feather quill.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, so he always has an extra one.
Yep. Someone tries to take away his pen, he'll just manifest another one. That should be one of his, like, Noble Phantasm. He just, like, conjures a pen, like, trace on, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, this design, like, it's a pretty straightforward design. He's an eccentric guy from medieval times, and this design is a really good version of that kind of trope.
Yeah, like, I like the goatee he has.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, just another mention of it. This design was also part of the Online project, and his design was done by Soji Gato, and the art was done by Chinatsu Kurahana. And, let's just take a look at his, A1 art. Oh man, this picture doesn't look like he's touching his book at all. It looks like it's floating.
Oh, it probably is.
Let me get a better... Oh yeah! I don't think he has that ability. Like, Castor is characterized by the fact that he doesn't look like a fighter, you know?
Yeah, he's all like, oh no, I'm just here to observe and write an interesting story.
And then he writes the story and he just throws it all up in the air. He's all like, yeah, I did it! And then he gets his wish. He gets the happiest ending a servant could possibly have.
I love that as he's disappearing, like, the page flies in front of the screen and it says, the end.
Yeah, it's so cool. That's where it should have ended. It shouldn't have ended with the other side of the world thing.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that design in a minute. But anyway, this guy's fucking cool. Let's move on. Alright, this is Rider of Red, also known as Achilles. So this guy's kind of a dick, right?
Kinda.
He's kind of a dick sometimes, but then you compare his design to Gilgamesh, and you can kind of scale that down. Like, okay, Gilgamesh is a huge dick, but this guy's also a dick.
But he's only a silver one.
Yeah, so his like the dick scale goes down a bit, and that kind of reflects that bit of his personality. Like he has honor and shit, you know.
Yeah. Like his armor does look kind of Greek Roman in aesthetic.
I say really like only the shoulder pads and the red scarf reflect that. I mean, other than that, it kind of looks like...
The chest piece also has like olive branches on it.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that before. So yeah, I guess that does kind of reflect it. I guess like I just recently looked at what Greek armor looked like just for this video, and like I guess you can't just make it regular Greek armor. You have to make the character stand out.
Yeah, this guy's in Leonidas.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is one of the first designs that was not a part of the Online project.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this design was, it was done by Kanoko Nasu, and the illustrator was the guy who did all the art for Apocrypha, Ototsugo Konoe. So the reason so they had another rider, right, that was going to be in the story.
Yes,
you know who that...
St. George.
Yeah, and the reason he was taken out was because they would have 3 saints in the story at that point. And that would also, that would tip the balance, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, he just had too much invincibility, like super magic resistance, a horse that made him invincible, a sword that also protected him.
You see, that's the opposite of Dragon Ball logic. Like, he's too strong. We need to get him out of the story or else he'll break it.
It's not, oh man, he's too strong. How do we make Goku stronger?
Yeah. Let's give him... Oh, let's just reset it back. And, yeah, that's supposed to go on that couch. Let's reset it back and just make his hair black again. And then that's Ultra Instinct, I think. I don't know. But, yeah, I just like that his hair and his kind of smug look on his face, kind of really, sells that part of his personality.
Yeah, it's, slicked back, except for that one part to make him look cool.
Yeah, he's so cool. And, yeah, you mentioned earlier, the armor does look pretty Greek, and that... Like, I like that it's a whole lot more, like, it's very subtly Greek is what I like. Like, it's definitely, like, his armor, not just Greek armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
Also, special note for not putting anything on, like, his heel, like, other than, like, Greaves. Like, you know, the Achilles' heel. Like,
I know that, yeah.
yeah, like, special note, nothing there to, like, make people think, oh, that's Achilles.
Oh, yeah, because he doesn't want to expose that part of him. And yeah, the back of his feet here, yeah, they're covered up. Imagine if you just put, like, a big, giant, like, bowling ball on it, you know? That would protect him. I think that's what he should have done. Like, as soon as his identity was exposed, and identities didn't really matter much in Fate Apocrypha. Like, just get a big, giant metal thing on his foot.
Man, identities in every Holy Grail war are nothing. Like, remember in Fate Zero when Ryder just rides in, he's all like, I'm Alexander the Great, who's with me?
Well, yeah, but that's because his Noble Phantasm is so fucking good that it doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess maybe that's not the personal reason Alexander did that, but, like, the only time where it really seems to matter is Fate Extra, and that's because they make it a gameplay mechanic. But yeah, this design is pretty cool. Do you want to move on to our next one?
Sure.
Alright, so this guy was also part of the Online project as well. And the designer and artist they got for this is, do you know who this is, by the way?
Yeah, this is,
Red Berserker?
yeah, Spartacus.
Yeah, but I was asking, do you know who designed it?
No.
Oh, it was designed by Gen Urobuchi.
Really?
Yeah, this design was designed by Gen Urobuchi, and the art was done by a guy named Katsuya Tarada. And that's like Apocrypha, I think, came out, like, I think around, like, 4 or 5 years, like, after Fate Zero. And I guess, like, at that point, Gen Urobuchi was considered a part of the whole thing. And so they got him to design more characters, and they got him to design 2 characters, Spartacus being one of them.
This is a very interesting design.
Yeah, he looks like he's pure muscle. Like, he's not exactly the level of power muscle that Hercules is, but it's just beyond, like, human muscle, kinda.
Yeah. Like, remember that one scene where that guy's hunting a deer and then just turns around and Spartacus is right behind him with that smile on his face?
He's like, hee, oppressors, I'm gonna find them, I'm gonna stab them, motherfucker.
Oh, man.
So I think his design goes well with, like, his origins and his Noble Phantasm, where he doesn't really care if he gets hurt. His armor's just there to cover up parts of his body.
Yeah, like, the more he gets hurt, the stronger he gets.
Yeah. Although I do like, you know, this kind of part right here, just the crotch area kind of conveys the Roman gladiator thing that he's going for.
It's a mix of a gladiator's, like, armor and, BDSM.
Yeah. Although he's not really, like, that type of person.
Are you kidding me? He's all like, oh yes, more power!
I guess. So something I never really talked about is, this headpiece looks a little, like, what is that?
I don't know.
Maybe it's like a Roman thing, but I don't know. I mean, it does look cool, I'll say, but yeah, I wonder what that is. So let's just take a look at the A1 Pictures art, which is not as gangly, but definitely kind of portrays the same, like... Did I already say that he stands, like, 2 meters tall?
No.
Yeah, but that's how tall he is when he's summoned as a Berserker. He's 2 meters tall. Yeah.
That's actually not that tall, considering, like, the servants, mostly.
Well, it's like around 7 feet, right?
A meter is about...
Using our crappy American system.
A meter is about 3 feet plus a couple inches.
Yeah.
So that's only like 6 foot something.
Okay. Wow,
So-
he's as tall as me.
So servant-wise, that's not very tall for a berserker.
Yeah. But yeah, this design is, like, very just... Like, he's pure muscle.
Even his Grand Order profile is, that man was all muscle.
Yep, and yeah, this design's cool. Okay, so we were joking about it a few seconds ago, but, like, I did look up her compatible classes, and yeah, she can both be summoned as an assassin and as a caster. This is Semiramis, also known as the Assassin of Red, and she is the last of our 7 Red Faction servants, from a technical kind of viewpoint, but yeah.
So Semiramis is an Assyrian queen, best known for like her use of poison to eliminate her enemies.
It's like listed as like the world's oldest
oldest poisoner.
Yeah. So yeah, she has like both Medea and her have like the ears, and that kind of like goes in with. Is Medea like the son of a goddess, by the way?
A daughter of a goddess, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, daughter.
Cersei also seems to have it, so it seems to be like a mage from the Age of Gods thing.
Yeah.
If we're like looking at it.
Yeah, but she is I think she is a proper like demigod.
Yeah, her mother was a fish goddess.
Yeah, so I guess like this is gonna be interpreted both ways, like the fact that she's more of a caster than an assassin, and the fact that she has like divine origins. So I like how this dress, it makes her look royal, right? And
yes.
But also because of the colors and other aspects of it, like say the fur on the back here, and like these kind of creepy looking things dangling from it, and these are they like blades on the bottom? Or no, they're just like flaps of the dress. Never mind. But like she just looks like a queen who you don't want as your queen because she's gonna kill you.
If you step out of line, of course.
Yeah. She was also part of the Unline project, and I couldn't find out who her official designer was. It just lists Type Moon as the designer, but the illustrator is Shizuki Mori.
So everyone just added a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it comes down to, or maybe just some up-and-coming artist at the time, like he or she wasn't well known.
Her hair is very long.
Yeah, I really hate that art in her Third Ascension and Grand Order where it's put into Twin Tails. I prefer it to be like again, she shares traits with Medea. Like, she's a lot like Medea in character now that I think about it.
Yeah, like relationship with her master, a caster sort of servant.
Yeah, and also like the long hair. Medea has really long hair, much like Semiramis does. Let's just briefly take a look at this. Wow, the detail levels fucking go down real hard in the animation. Yeah. But it still looks cool. It definitely conveys her character.
Yeah.
Like, Mordred and Kairi meet her, and they immediately look at her, and they're all like, wow, we super can't trust you.
Yeah, we're going out on our own for this war.
Yeah, we're gonna be a fucking guerrilla unit. See ya. Okay, so this is also an original design. It's not part of the Unline project. And yeah, the design was done by Kanoko Nasu. The art was done by the official artist Ototsugu Konoe. Excuse me. So I looked up a bit about... Okay, so this is Shiro Kotomine, first of all. And he's a master, he's master of assassin, until it's revealed that he's in fact a ruler-class servant from the previous Grail War, and his true name is Amakusa Shiro Tokisada. Man, where do we even begin? Because this design, we've talked about this so many times.
Okay, so first off, his name, originally, of Shiro Kotomine, got a lot of fan theories going around, because that's a mix of Shiro Emiya and Kirei Kotomine from the first Fate Stay Night.
It's aspects of Archer's design and Kirei's design combined into one. Like, you got, the youth of Shiro, the tan skin and white hair of Archer. You got the cloak. You just got the clothing choices of Kirei with the, just the religious symbolism and stuff like that.
And being a priest.
So, I read a very interesting thing about... So the designer, or the author, Kui... Oh man, I forgot his name already. Sorry, excuse me for a second. I'll just... Yuichiro Higashide. Apparently both readers and people who, like his friends in real life, when it was revealed who Shiro Kotomine was, that in fact had nothing to do with Kirei Kotomine or Shiro Emiya. Like, in an interview, he states that a lot of people went up to him and just said, "Really?"
Yeah, it's just... like, just passing it off as a big coincidence is kinda weird.
Like it can completely, like, there's no meaning in, like, the disappointment you feel when it's revealed that, like, maybe the mindset was that it was too obvious what he could be, like
An amalgamation, like, one of them...
like maybe, like, Kirei's dad married Mama Emiya or something.
Like, Shiro got adopted by the Kodomines or something.
Yeah, and, like... Yeah, It's just disappointing, this design. Like, it's a good-looking design, and it does portray aspects of his character, but it's so,
it's
like...
just the payoff for the fan theories.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a justification for his, like, the pigmentation of his skin and his hair. The skin is because he apparently just spent, like, 30 years in the Middle East, and I guess he just got a natural tan?
Yep, he was digging for a catalyst to summon Semiramis.
Yeah. And the hair is because his own summoning was kind of rough, and due to magic, his hair was made like that, much like Archer's hair in Fate Stay Night. Yeah. So at some point, like, his design evolves into what he,
An approximation of what he looked like originally.
Like, I think if I remember, the hair and the skin, like, they were, like, he has white skin and, like, black hair, like his actual like, historical person does. And this is just like, just his outfit and the way he wears his hair has changed just to make it look more like, who he actually is. You know, so something I do like about this design is that I did a bit of reading on, his past. The past we barely got any look at in the anime itself.
Yeah. So Shiro Amakusa is a Japanese Christian who led a rebellion with a bunch of other Japanese Christians against the Japanese government due to the, let's just say, discrimination.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's interesting that his design is pretty much a Christian samurai. And that's actually really cool, because I never heard of something like that before.
Yeah, like he's got the crosses on his cloak.
Yeah, and with that in mind, like I do like this design, even though it disappoints you because you know things about the Fate Stay Night universe. But like it also like portrays like that kind of aspect of his character, but just not strongly because it's not supposed to be revealed until later, until at least you get to this point. Or like when you get to this point, like you know at that point, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just quickly take a look at his... Yeah, this is his official A1 Pictures art. And, yeah. Like, also another thing, like, even though he's been alive for more than 70 years as a servant, he's supposed to be, like, 17 years old.
Yeah, that's, how old, Shiro Amakusa was when he died.
That's also, I think yeah. I want to say it's also how old Shiro Emiya was, and that's why you can make that design similarity.
What a disappointing red herring.
Yeah, it's...
like, he's a cool character, but just the payoff.
Hey, wait a minute, he's wearing red. Red herring. I think we discovered another thing about, a hidden thing that only people who are really smart like us can spot.
New servant class, herring class servants.
Well, anyway, the design is good for what it portrays about his character, but it's just surrounded by disappointment. That's pretty much the conclusion.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our last member of the Red faction, I believe. Let's take a look at our first Black faction art.